Barcelona dropped their first transfer bombshell of the summer. A new manager arrives at the San Siro. Tottenham are set for a stunning double swoop worth £70 million. And is Carrick lining up a move for Tchouaméni? All this and much more in today's episode. Before we get into the news, do me a quick favor and hit that like button. It's the single most important thing you can do to help this channel grow and keep these videos coming. Done? Let's dive straight in. Manchester United are at it again. Fast asleep, dreaming of salvation arriving business class from Madrid, Aurelien Tchouaméni, no less. The club are calling it their dream transfer, which tracks actually. These days, dreams at Old Trafford look increasingly like sessions of very expensive therapy. Fabrizio Romano insists the United brass are flat-out obsessed with the Frenchman. The asking price, €100 million, minimum for starters. Tchouaméni is young, athletic, can do everything: press, pass, dictate tempo. The ideal asset. But when has it ever been purely about football at Old Trafford? There's an unmistakable whiff of déjà vu here. The board are desperate to pull the same trick they pulled with Casemiro. Nick a ready-made leader straight out of the Bernabeu and let him fix this permanently broken machine overnight. Mainu, Bruno, Tchouaméni on paper. That midfield looks monumental. Pity paper in United's offices has always been considerably more durable than reality. Let's be straight about this. Splashing $100 million on one player when you've got holes all over the squad is either genius-level calculation or good old-fashioned panic. Madrid won't say no to that kind of money. But will Aurelien actually fancy swapping guaranteed silverware for the role of designated saviour in drizzly Manchester? I have my doubts. Classic summer pursuit of a superstar that could paralyse the entire club for months. Ambitious? Certainly. Achievable? Watch this space. Just don't forget, dreams have a nasty habit of arriving as completely unmanageable invoices. Much like life, really. Andy Robertson is searching for a new home. And, by all accounts, that home is in North London. Which does sound like the opening line of a decent joke, doesn't it? A man who's lifted the Champions League is genuinely weighing up a project whose crowning achievement this season was avoiding the drop. Spurs had Robertson in their sights since January, the entire deal hanging on one beautifully insulting condition. If we stay up. They stayed up. Give them a medal. Then Gianluca Di Marzio wandered in with an exclusive about a formal offer from Juventus, because apparently Turin decided they hadn't got enough problems and fancied adding some Scottish fire to the dressing room. But Ben Jacobs is relaxed. Robertson and Spurs are already sorted in principle. Agreements there. Just need the signature on this extraordinary act of generosity. Why did Tottenham want him? Ben Davies is finally packing his bags, and you can't build an entire left flank around Sousa alone. The club desperately needs someone who still remembers what the top half of the table looks like, or what an actual trophy feels like. Robertson even knocked back Fenerbahce to stay in England. Apparently, London's particular brand of misery beats sunshine in Istanbul. The real question is, what does Robertson become at a club that spent most of last season cosplaying as a relegation candidate? Experience is valuable, but it doesn't cure systemic chaos. The atmosphere at Spurs right now is so corrosive that even a Liverpool legend could forget how to play a 5-yard pass inside a month. They're hoping Robertson hauls them into Europe. Naive? Probably. Just make sure you remember, Andy. In this part of London, they give out medals for turning up. Welcome to the club. Julian Alvarez has formally told the Atletico Madrid hierarchy that his time in the capital is done, and no check with 8 zeros is changing that. According to Marca, the Argentine outright rejected the chance to become the best-paid player in Diego Simeone's entire system, €10 million a season, in favor of demanding a move somewhere more ambitious. Barcelona and Arsenal are the names in the frame. The man is prepared to walk away from undisputed leader status for the vague promise of fighting for a starting spot at clubs where the competition is infinitely stiffer. And speaking of people with the nerve to make bold decisions, Alvarez is staging his rebellion, so I'm asking you to stage yours. Step out of the passive observer camp and actually smash that like button. Prove you've got more resolve than Atletico Madrid's board. The fact that a World Cup winner is turning down the club's best offer tells you everything you need to know about where confidence in Simeone's project currently sits. And lurking in the background, as ever, is the unmistakable shadow of agent Fernando Hidalgo, running his complex behind-the-scenes operation in pursuit of his next round of commissions. Simeone, for his part, has essentially washed his hands of it, remarking dryly that Julian decision is Julian business, and he has no interest in holding on to unmotivated stars. The snag is Alvarez's contract runs until 2030, and a colossal release clause makes him effectively a prisoner of his own signature. Atletico have slapped a €150 million price tag on him, which transforms Barcelona's supposed interest into a very pretty, completely undeliverable fantasy spun by the Catalan media. Given the chronic financial black holes at Camp Nou, that asking price is essentially a polite form of rejection, even if Alvarez genuinely is enchanted by the idea of playing alongside Lamine Yamal and winning trophies. In practice, sporting director Matteo Alemany could use this rebellion as a convenient excuse to strip the squad back and free up budget for a rebuild. For Atletico, the priority is keeping face, ensuring their talisman doesn't walk out the door for nothing and turning a toxic exit into sound business. What we're watching is yet another transfer saga where a player's ambitions crash headfirst into the cold reality of his own long-term contract. AC Milan have decided to burn the whole thing to the ground, when the final table has you finishing below Cesc Fabregas's upstart Como, costing you Champions League football in the process. A mass clear-out stops looking like a calculated decision and starts looking like a prolonged howl of despair. They've sacked virtually everyone, from Allegri down to the last chief executive standing. And now, onto that smouldering rubble, they're trying to lure Andoni Iraola. The Basque pulled off something genuinely extraordinary at Bournemouth, dragging the Cherries to 6th place in the Premier League. Sky Sports have been casually name-dropping him in connection with Italy, hinting a move could come sooner rather than later. The Milan hierarchy reportedly came knocking the moment they accepted their old footballing philosophy was completely and irreversibly dead. For them, Iraola is the anti-Allegri, modern pressing, attacking football, the kind of game that at least keeps the San Siro faithful from nodding off in their seats. Promising? Sounds like it. There is, naturally, one rather delicate complication. Financial. While the suits are busy courting their Basque saviour, the club's budget is quietly weeping in the corner. The compensation bill from Allegri's contract termination is still hanging round Milan's neck like a dead weight, consuming resources that were supposed to fund transfers. Iraola is no fool. He's taken his time. He can see a club with no sporting director, no coherent structure of authority, just chaos, and a blank sheet of paper they're hopefully calling a vision. Changing course is a noble endeavour, but trying to build a sophisticated tactical system when you've got a hole in the accounts the size of the San Siro, that's classic Italian football, that is. The important thing is selling the fans a new dream. Whether Iraola himself survives long enough to see it through, well, that's rather a secondary concern, isn't it? Spurs are going back for the same Brazilian, only this time, he comes with a considerably more eye-watering price tag attached. Remember Savinho? A year ago, they arrived at Guardiola's door with a £70 million suitcase, and Pep closed it in their faces. Now Guardiola's gone. The great era is over, and Spurs have decided this makes it the perfect moment to knock again. The logic is almost understandable. If there's a new lock on the door, perhaps it's a touch more cooperative. Fabrizio Romano is reporting that talks have genuinely resumed, and this time things look considerably more serious. Savinho has been stranded at City, somewhere between the bench and the occasional cameo. Just 14 starts all season. For a player of his quality, that's not just limited game time, that's humiliating. What does Roberto De Zerbi want with him? The Italian is busy constructing his own outpost of attacking chaos in North London, and Savinho's versatility slots into that system perfectly. Spurs are dangling the prospect of being first choice, not the third wheel in a rotating wide triangle. And since we're on the subject of Spurs, if you've been watching this channel regularly, but still haven't subscribed or switched on notifications, your YouTube feed risks becoming as bare as the Tottenham trophy cabinet. Let's sort that out. Subscribe, hit the bell, and off we go. What's genuinely interesting here isn't the player himself, it's the precedent. We're beginning to see just how swiftly City are prepared to sell off Guardiola's legacy without the great Catalan keeping watch over proceedings. 70 million for a squad player is an excellent bit of business, but only if you've actually got a plan for what comes next. And Tottenham, well, they do love a good hope, don't they?